Hello, everyone. I wanted to go over lesson 31. We've already done the front part of lesson 31. It was adding integers. So now we're going to talk about combining like terms. So we first have to look at an equation. And in an equation, sometimes we have these letters, and remember, we call those variables. And in front of those letters, sometimes you have a number, and that number is a coefficient. So you have a coefficient and a variable. And if something doesn't have a letter behind it, it's a constant. So in math, we can only combine things that are alike. So we call that combining like terms. And what we do is we keep the variable the same and we add the coefficients. So right here, identify like terms by looking at the variables. Like terms have identical variable parts. Identical means identical, meaning if it's an x, it has to only combine with an x. It can't combine with an x squared. That's not identical. Here's the one exception to that. Like terms like x, y, that is the same as yx. Think about 2 times 5. 2 times 5 is 10. 5 times 2 is also 10. So order can be in a different order. However, they have to be identical. So those are like terms. Here we have an xy and an x squared y. That is not a like term. That's an x and an x squared. They're different. Remember, it has to be identical. So what we do is we call them collecting like terms. Remember, we're going to keep the variable the same and add the coefficient. And remember that coefficient is the number in front of the variable. Now, let's look at this 3x, okay? And I need something that has that same x variable. 2 does not have an x variable. That is not a like term. Here is x. So here I have a like term. So now I have 3x minus x. Don't forget this sign, sorry, I'm trying to draw with a mouse, belongs to that variable. So 3x minus x. Remember, there's like an invisible 1 here. And because 1 times any number is itself. So this is like 3 minus 1. 3 minus 1 would be 2. And we keep the variable the same. Now we're simply going to add the other like terms, 2 and 3. What is 2 and plus 3? 5. So 2x plus 5. Okay, and that's as simple as I can get because now I have an x and a 5 or a constant, and I cannot combine those. All right, so let's look at the next one. 3x, it can't combine with xy, that's not identical. It can't combine with xy, that's not identical. So here we have just an x and a 3x. So what is 3x minus x? 2x. Now I have an xy plus an xy. Don't forget, you can remember there's a 1 in front. You don't have to draw it, but if it helps you, allow it to help you. So positive 2xy plus 1xy. What's 2 plus 1? 3. So positive 3 and keep the variable the same. 3xy. So 2x plus 3xy. The next one, we have a 6x squared. We have to see if anything is identical to x squared. That's just an x. It's not identical. That's just an x. It's not identical. This one doesn't even have a variable. So we just bring it down. 6x squared, negative 1x plus 2x. Negative 1 plus 2x is just 1x, and then minus 1 has nothing to combine with. Hope that helps. Good luck. Let me know if you have any questions.